Bitcoin had a crazy weekend and we saw a pump towards the $81,000, and this is very bullish of course. However, Bitcoin is also creating a huge CME gap, and I will talk about this in this video. And I will also talk about a lot of other interesting formations for Bitcoin which are showing on the charts. There's a lot of interesting data and news coming into the market which I will share with you in this video. I will also have a look at the two altcoins, Cardano and Vechain, but about that later in the video. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end, please give this video a like because it will help this channel a lot. And let's dive right into the charts. Earlier this weekend, Bitcoin opened the CME gap around here, and it was around the $76,532. So this was the highest gap for Bitcoin ever in the history. But we now can see that we're traded around this level during the weekend. But on Sunday we saw a big pump towards the $81,000, and this was very beautiful to see of course. And also a lot of altcoins are pumping during the weekend, so this was looking very crazy. And I've never seen anything like this before, and it feels like the start of a big bull run. But however, there's also a very big chance that we can go back to the CME gap and close it. And that will of course be around this $76,532 level. And if we close this gap, then we will see a little bit of a retest to close the gap. And from there we can just trade freely again. But however, 99 out of 100 times the CME gaps get closed, and this could be that one time that the gap doesn't get closed. So let's see what Bitcoin will do in the coming week, but keep in mind that this gap is still open and that we could close the gap in the coming week. And last week I was discussing this rising broadening wedge with you on the 4-hour time frame. And we saw a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and also on the lower side as support. We were grinding against this huge resistance area, and we could see a little bit of a rejection coming in. But then on Sunday we saw this glorious pump towards the $82,000, and this is insane of course. And now we're breaking above this huge resistance area, so we could come back, retest the resistance area as support, and then we can aim for higher targets. But this rising broadening wedge was actually a little bit of a bearish pattern, but we broke it bullish, so this is showing a lot of strength for Bitcoin in the coming days. So let's see what we can see for Bitcoin in the coming days, and I think we will just continue the exponential moves to the top side. And last week the Bitcoin ETFs had a very interesting week again. We saw a lot of bullish inflows, and especially on Thursday we saw an inflow of $1.4 billion, so this was insane of course. We're seeing a spike to the top side, and this was having a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin. And also the Ethereum ETFs are waking up finally. BlackRock is buying like crazy, and in total they had for a lot of interesting inflows last week. So let's see if we can see a continuation of this bullish inflows. And if we then zoom out to the Bitcoin daily chart, we can see that Bitcoin pumped above this huge previous all-time high. We are now breaking above it, and this is looking very beautiful. But of course, this previous all-time high hasn't been retested as support yet, so we could potentially see a little bit of a throwback, and that will bring us back to the $73,000. So keep in mind that this level could be very interested for Bitcoin to come back to retest it as support. And if we're coming back to this level, I am very much interested in buying more Bitcoin, because this could be a very interesting higher low play for Bitcoin, and from there we can just aim for higher targets. So if Bitcoin comes back to this level, I'm going to buy more Bitcoin. And with this huge pump happening towards the $81,000, we are now seeing extreme greed levels again. We are at 76, so there's still a little bit of room to the top side. But keep in mind that we're now in levels of extreme greed, so there's a lot of euphoria into the market, which you should be very cautious with, because you could take a little bit of profits when we are in extreme greed. And last month we were seeing neutral levels, and we all even saw levels of fear. So in levels of fear or neutral, that are the levels that you want to buy more, and in levels of extreme greed, you want to take a little bit of profits. And looking at this daily chart with this huge uptrend for Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin is now having that exponential move to the top side, and we are almost reaching the $82,000. So we can see this huge uptrend was unfolding, and the highs are getting exponential. So we are entering the parabolic stage. And as I was saying in my earlier chart, we could see a little bit of a retest to test the previous all-time high as support, and that could be around the $73,000. And from there, we could potentially see a little bit of a throwback to create a higher low play. And that would be very healthy actually. So we could potentially see a little bit of throwback, and that Bitcoin is going to continue the bullish momentum to the top side. And this will having a very healthy price action for Bitcoin in the coming days. So keep in mind that we could potentially see a little bit of a throwback, and from this level you want to be entering the market for Bitcoin again, because in an uptrend you want to buy every dip. And looking at the Bitcoin stock to flow model, we are going to be in the exponential moves just like we saw in the last cycles. So we are entering the parabolic stages, and let's see if we can come to this huge interesting level of $400,000. And according to this stock to flow model, this will be the most interesting level, and this will be the median price of the next cycle. So let's see if we can see this spike to the top side just like we saw in the last cycles, and that will bring us all the way to the $400,000. So of course this is a very interesting target for Bitcoin. And let me know in the comments what you think, what your cycle high prediction is for Bitcoin, and if we're going to reach the $400,000 for Bitcoin in this cycle. And zooming out to the monthly chart, it was all very obvious in hindsight. We saw these previous highs were unfolding in the last bull market. We saw a beautiful run this cycle already. We saw a beautiful consolidation of almost 8 months, and now we're seeing 2 consecutive bullish months for this breakout. So this was the month of October, and this is the month of November, and we are now seeing this bullish separation, and we are creating this exponential move. So we are just creating a huge continuation formation, and let's see where this continuation formation will bring us in the coming months. And I think we will just pump straight ahead to the $100,000, and from there we can just trade freely, because Bitcoin is now in price discovery zone, because the price of Bitcoin has never been here. And this is of course very bullish to see. And these are the kind of bullish momentum you want to see in the stages of a bull market. And the first interesting altcoin, I want to have a look at this Cardano. On my socials, I've been talking about Cardano, and we finally broke out of this huge consolidation formation. And I said if we're going to break bullish, then we will have a breakout target of 52 cents. And Cardano is pushing like crazy, and we are seeing a huge interesting gain to the top side. And it was all because the Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson confirms crypto advisor role under Trump. So he's going to work closely with Trump, and this is of course very bullish for Cardano. And on the charts we saw this huge pump of almost 100%. So this is insane of course in the last days for Cardano. And I still think that Cardano was the sleeping giant, and they are not building very much hype, but they have a very big community, and they are one of the best products out there, I still think. So congratulations if you took this trade together with me, and we are now up for almost more than 100%, and the breakout target of this formation has been reached. So we are also breaking above it, so this was looking very bullish, and now we can see a little bit of a throwback maybe to retest this previous resistance, because we are seeing a lot of resistance at this level into support, and from there we can just continue the bullish uptrend. And let me know if you took this trade together with me on Cardano, and if you hold Cardano in your portfolio. And the next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Vechain. We can also see Vechain was breaking out finally out of this huge consolidation formation. And on my socials I've been telling you that we are almost breaking out, and that I was telling you that I was buying at this green box of accumulation on this huge chart, and the support was holding strong once again, just like we can see here. And this huge support was important for Vechain to hold, and now we can see a beautiful bounce. We're breaking out of this huge resistance area, and let's see if we can maybe see a little bit of a retracement to come back to this resistance area to test it as support. And if we're going to see a retest, you can enter the market for Vechain in a long, and then we can aim for higher targets, and this of course will be very bullish. And the top side of the formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will be around the 3.7 cents. So we're now at the 2.5 cents, so this could be a very interesting gain for Vechain to make. So of course this could be the very big start of a huge trend reversal for Vechain, because in the last months we saw a lot of negative price action for Vechain. So let's see if we can see more bullish continuation for Vechain in the coming days. So please give a like if you find the video useful. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.